The World Health Organization warns that millions of Ukrainians will leave their homes in search of warmth and safety this winter.
The exact number of people killed in Indonesia's earthquake remains unclear. Hundreds have been injured as the rescue works continue.
The first snowfalls of the winter in Ukraine, and the World Health Organization has a stark warning. Due to Russian shelling, half of Ukraine's infrastructure is either damaged or destroyed. So there's limited power for cooking, heating, and it means running hospitals this winter will be about survival.
We expect 2 to 3 million more people to leave their homes in search of warmth and safety. They will face unique health challenges, including respiratory infections such as COVID-19, pneumonia and influenza, and the serious risk of diphtheria and measles in under-vaccinated populations.
The people of Kherson are already feeling the effects. It's been 10 days since the Russians retreated from the city, and there is still no water or electricity. When night falls around 4 p.m, Kherson plunges into the cold and darkness. How could they do this? You are humans and you understand how it feels, no water and electricity. Just to do it on purpose? It has been done in anger. How could they do it? Civilians will be evacuated from Kherson and Mykolaiv regions amid fears that the damage to infrastructure there is too severe for people to endure the winter. Temperatures are predicted to plummet as low as -20 degrees Celsius in some areas. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, which used to produce more than 25% of Ukraine's electricity, no longer generates power.
The exact number of people killed in an earthquake in Indonesia remains unclear. The country's disaster mitigation agency said the official death toll was 62. But another figure given by a regional governor, 162, is still to be verified. Rescue workers continue their search for survivors. Hundreds more have been injured on the country's main island of Java. The 5.6 magnitude quake struck a densely populated area, prone to landslides, with poorly built houses reduced to rubble in minutes. I was crying and immediately grabbed my husband and children. If I didn't pull them out, we might have become victims. The house was shaking as if it was dancing. Hospitals have been overwhelmed by the injured people, with many having to be treated outside. The toll is expected to rise further because of the area's rural population, but many structures have been flattened, and residents and emergency workers are braced for even worse news.
11th hour talks in Brussels aimed at diffusing tensions between Kosovo and Serbia have ended without a result. The EU's top diplomat, Josep Borrell, accused Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić and Kosovo Prime Minister Albin Kurti of showing unconstructive behaviour, in particular Kosovo. Long-simmering tensions between Serbia and its former province mounted again in recent weeks over the Kosovo government's decision to ban Serbian-issued licence plates. Kosovo, which remains unrecognised by Serbia, wants some 10,000 Kosovo Serbs whose vehicles have Serbian-issued plates to replace them with Kosovo Republic plates. The phased plan includes warnings, fines and eventually driving bans for refusing to switch. Following the meeting, Kosovan Prime Minister Kurti blamed Borrell for focusing solely on the licence plates issue instead of the full normalisation of ties between the neighbours. Serbian President Vučić said Kurti was responsible for the failure of the meeting and that sleepless nights are ahead of us. Euronews Serbia asked ethnic Serbs living in Mitrovica if the lack of a resolution worried them. Well, I don't know. I guess everything will be fine. No, there is no fear. We've lived here since birth. We're used to this situation. Yes, there are tensions, there are. But there is no fear, at least here. Older people may be afraid, but not us young people. I'm not worried because Kosovo is Serbian and will remain part of Serbia. There are real concerns that the unresolved issue could spiral into renewed confrontation. The NATO-led mission in Kosovo is remaining vigilant.
A video circulating in Iran shows thousands of mourners attending the funeral of a 16-year-old protester. More footage shows dozens of Iranians taking shelter in alleyways as heavy gunfire from security forces echoes through the streets. Iran has been convulsed by anti-government protesters since the death of Mahsa Amini, a Kurdish woman who died in the custody of the country's morality police in the capital Tehran in September. Continuing demonstrations mark the biggest challenge to the theocracy in over a decade. At least 426 people have been killed and more than 17,000 arrested, according to human rights activists in Iran.
England's opening Group B match against Iran was marked by protests, as both teams showed solidarity for demonstrators in Iran. Iran's players stood in a row as the national anthem played, refraining from singing along, while Iranian fans responded with applause and cheers for the team. And the English players took a knee to show their support. Some Iranian fans expressed their displeasure with Tehran outside the gates of the stadium.
I came to here
One fan said that he was there to hear the voice of Iran and repeated the slogan, "Women, life, freedom."
Our voice, women, life, freedom.
The slogan, which was on some fans' shirts, references demonstrations that have erupted across Iran after the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. She died while in custody of the country's morality police in September.
An injury hit France will start its World Cup on Tuesday with the Group D opening match. The French side will be defending their current title when they tackle Australia at the Al Janoub Stadium in Doha. One of its biggest stars, Karim Benzema, had to retire after a problem in his thigh. France is not the only team to have been cursed on the injury front. Australian striker Martin Boyle has been nursing a knee problem and has been forced to withdraw from the squad. France and Australia are familiar foes at the World Cup, having met in the group stage 4 years ago. Group D will also see Denmark versus Tunisia later on Tuesday.
Day 3 is one of huge anticipation as Lionel Messi begins what could be his last ever FIFA World Cup campaign. Argentina take on Saudi Arabia at the Lusail Stadium. Messi's admitted to nerves and anxiety ahead of the competition. Who wouldn't when you've got the hopes and dreams of 45 million people resting on your shoulders? The short trip for Saudi Arabia means that they should be well supported throughout the tournament too. The other game in Group C sees Mexico take on Poland, with this likely to be Robert Lewandowski's last ever FIFA World Cup. Qatar 2022 could be a tournament of emotional goodbyes. Samashu for Euronews in Doha.
The annual Hospices of Bonn wine sale has raised a whopping 29 million euros, the highest ever for a charity wine auction. This year's edition also broke the previous record set in 2018, which was 14 million euros. The proceeds will go to multiple charities and towards the upkeep of the Hospices of Bonn. The organizers did not hide their excitement after this year's success.
We went from one extreme to the other. The 2021 sale had only 362 casks, the smallest yield in 40 years. Now we are at the other extreme in 2022, with a yield among the most abundant. The auction offers 820 pieces for sale, the second largest edition of this beautiful institution.
An unexpected success linked to the great quality of wine that springs from an abundant harvest. And after 2 years of COVID, many foreign customers were able to attend this oldest charitable auction in the world.
For the first time in 50 years, NASA has sent a capsule to the moon. The record-breaking €4 billion test also marks the farthest a spacecraft designed for astronauts has ever traveled, breaking the previous record created by Apollo 12 in 1970. And on the capsule's journey home, it sent an image of the world to the humans stuck on the ground.
in total, they can generate about